Hey everybody, welcome to The Commit. This is episode 33. I'm Neal.
And I'm Richard. So this week we've got a really cool segment for you. So what we've done is we've done some of our developer friends and ourselves as well, and we've asked them like, what's in your stack? So we want to know like, what are the tools people are using? How do this build? You know, Neal, a lot of people debate online like what's their favorite text editor, but you know, there is no one best text editor, right?
I think if you ask around this office to a few more people, you might find a consensus though about what is their favorite text editor.
Right, so there's no best text editor, but everyone has a preference. So let's hear from the developers themselves and see what people are using.
I'm Juan. I'm a software architect and I work at Greenhouse. I've been there for 2.5 years almost. My editor of choice is Vim. Vim has a concept that nobody else does, which is modes. Modes make you so much more productive. If you want, unlike other things like make you have key bindings with 3, 4, 5 keys, Emacs, they actually make sense. It definitely has a learning curve, but the cool thing is that you can start using it in insert mode, which is where you type, and use it as you would use any other text editor, and you'll get the job done. There's a very interesting post by, I want to say, Yehuda Katz, when he switched to Vim from, I want to say, TextMate. He gave the advice to just start using it as a regular text editor, and then you start seeing that there's things that you're doing that don't seem to be very efficient. Spend 5 minutes Googling it, and you'll definitely find an easier way of doing what you're trying to do, and then just try it a few times, and then you'll realize that over time you're building up this memory, this muscle memory of how to do everything that you need, and it's making you more performant, better performant by the day.
Hey, so I'm not particularly attached to just one text editor. I'll use whatever's available on platform, but there's one that I can always rely on, and that's Pico. Whatever system I'm on, Unix, my Mac, even if I'm running Cygwin on a Windows laptop, I know I'll always have access to it. And the reason I like it is because it lets me do exactly what I need to do. Get in, edit a file, scroll through it. It supports all the Windows key bindings that I grew up with, like Control-X, Control-C, and Control-V. Lets me write out stuff very quickly. If I need to page through stuff, I can do all of that. It's simple, it's quick, and it works, like I said, no matter where I am. I think part of that is because it's the first text editor that I ever really got experience with, you know, back in the 90s, because I'm old, when I was first, you know, getting introduced to computers in the command line, all my email went through the command line. I used Pine, and that's the same sort of interface that you get with Pico. And so if you ever need a text editor, no matter where you are, Pico's the one to go for.
All right, so I'm Ronan. I'm engineering here at Devpost. I'm Ruby on Rails stack focused. So yeah, I use two main text editors. I used to use TextMate. I now use Sublime as the main text editor. And but usually, so why do I use Sublime? I use Sublime because the shortcuts, because it's widely used. So you have like great plugins on it. You use Sublime as well because the themes are pretty cool. I like that. The split view as well is pretty nice. But nothing you can't do with other editors. But it's like pretty well implemented, and I like it. You should definitely change the basic theme. You should use the beta one, the version 3, and add plugins that you're using and that are useful, like for instance Ruby test. If you're doing like RSpec, you can do add the plugin for like you have mainly also the Finder one if you're on Mac, so like you can rename and do stuff directly on the drawer with the files. That's pretty cool.
So my editor pick is Atom, which like makes me really new school, and that's kind of weird. But what I really like about it is it's actually like my full stack editor. And what I mean by that is I spend a lot of day like just writing text. So I can write text in there, I can preview Markdown, I can preview HTML. And for a lot of the stuff I'm starting to build now, where I'm building like splash pages with Bootstrap, I've got all of those packages actually like built into my Atom. So everything's colored nicely. I've got all my key bindings set up. And with the open source nature and the extendability of the packages, it's really cool and easy to add and other great stuff. If you're like me and like maybe you're getting back into building after a while, I think it's a really cool package to check out. Okay, hackers, my staff pick this week is Ramsay.
No.
Ramsay's-
Look. I'm gonna let you finish, Richard, but I wanna talk about the greatest hack of all time. It's called Kanye Rest. And this is a REST API for all of Kanye's lyrics. It's got endpoints to give you every track from every album. You can get the lyrics from every song on every album, and you can get the word count for all of Kanye's songs ever. You wanna know how many times he said, yo, we can get you that word count from this API.
Amazing. I bet the hackers are so bummed that they didn't get to see this build.
Yeah, I know. But, like I said, greatest hack of all time, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Well, thanks, Neal. So my hack is Ramsay. Now, Ramsay is really exactly what everyone's been saying about the Amazon Echo and about the Alexa, that it's a project designed to really kind of put it to use in the kitchen. So everyone's talking about this voice control being the latest kitchen accessory.
It's a really natural place for it.
Totally. So this builds, named after its namesake Gordon Ramsay, builds in like menu controls to it. So you can say, like, Ramsay, I'm thinking about making donuts. What do I need? And then it'll tell you exactly all the ingredients you need and talk you through the process. Really cool project. Make sure you check it out.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us on The Commit this week. We'll see you next time. Happy hacking.
Happy hacking.